They broke into the mall for the wildest all-night party of their lives.
It's dead meat.
But you're never alone in the chopping mall.
What's that?
Robot blood. Chopping mall, where shopping costs you an arm and a leg.
Released in 1986 by Concord Pictures, Killbots, aka Chopping Mall, is a sci-fi horror comedy starring Barbara Crampton, Kelli Maroney, Tony O'Dell, and Russell Todd. Directed by cult movie legend Jim Wynorski, the film is about a group of horny teenagers who camp out in a mall overnight, only to come up against the state-of-the-art security robots installed to protect the building. A lightning storm hits the mall, causing a malfunction in their programming, turning them from regular security robots into homicidal killbots. As the robots gradually pick off the frisky teenagers with their high-powered lasers, the survivors break into sporting goods stores to gather weapons. Armed with rifles, propane tanks, and golf carts, the denim-clad kids wage war on the murder bots with Park Plaza Mall serving as their battlefield. Wynorski, whose films tend to run from cheap fun to just cheap, does some of his best work in Chopping Mall with an impressive execution. There's a fair share of sex, violence, and one of the best exploding head gags next to Tom Savini's famous scene in William Lustig's Maniac. And because the movie is produced by Julie Corman, it offers a crossover with the Roger Corman universe featuring cameos from a variety of familiar faces. Rock and Roll High School's Paul Bartel and Mary Warrenov show up in an early scene, with horror favorite Dick Miller appearing as a bitter mall janitor with a serious hatred for the Killbots. Garrett Graham of Chud 2 and Terror Vision also has a small role as a careless security guard, along with a brief appearance by Phantasm's Angus Scrim that kind of served as a bonus for die-hard horror fans. Chopping Mall was a movie that set out to be something different that most fans were used to. Wynorski wasn't interested in scaring the audience as much as he wanted to make a fun, unique movie that was genuinely entertaining. Lucky for him, that's what Chopping Mall became. A movie that knows exactly what it is and knows exactly how to deliver the goods without holding anything back. And the fact that it was shot inside of a real mall adds immensely to the film's strength, creating a certain sense of nostalgia going back to the heyday of 80s arcades, vintage food courts, and heavy metal clothing stores. It's a loving testament to a time when the mall, not the latest app, was the true epicenter of the teen culture. Designed by Robert Short, the robots are a lethal combination of Nintendo's Rob and the original Terminator, with a dash of Maximilian from Disney's Black Hole. Overall, Chopping Mall is one of those movies you can't help but love, mainly because of its shameless ambition to constantly entertain the audience. The hair was big, colors were saturated, and killer robots were ready to execute any teenager stupid enough to try and party the night away in the hallowed halls of the shopping mall. Is it ridiculous and stupid? Sure. But as far as I'm concerned, it takes a certain kind of recklessness to make a good B-movie. And Chopping Mall is one of those rare films that went out of their way to make that happen. And just like Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers, this movie was never meant to be taken seriously. It's hokey as hell at times, and there are some scenes that are almost too ridiculous, but I don't care. Chopping Mall is a classic cheesefest with an original premise, some pretty awesome death scenes, and the usual gang of stereotypes you expect to see in your typical 80s horror flick. It may not be perfect, but it would also be hard for any true horror fan to deny the pure brilliance of this film.